Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Erica, and in today's video I have a DIY for you of how I made this cafe, which ended up turning into a bistro, gazebo, and a skating rink that was supposed to be a water fountain, and then I just forgot the water fountain and I just ended up turning it into a skating rink. But anyways, I would like to thank Plaid for sending me a lot of these materials to use and to share with you on my opinion of them, and I can't wait to get started. Like, I had so much fun making this project. If there is anything else that I have made previously, I will let you know in the description box down below. So with that being said, let's get started. So I requested for free this gazebo. I immediately knew that I wanted it to be something for my Calico critters because I was looking at the size and I was like, I think that could actually work for them, and I thought it'd be really cute. My first idea was turning it into a cafe. Then when I got it and I got all the pieces and all the tools to use for this, I was like, I want to turn it into a bistro. So what I did was I used a hot knife, and I had requested that too, and I've never used a hot knife. I don't really work with wood, so I'm not an expert. I'm a total noob. But anyways, the hot knife did not make it easier to cut this out. Later on, I ended up losing the blade from the hot knife, and so I ended up having to use just a regular X-Acto knife. So if you are carving the wood, just use the regular X-Acto knife, because I don't think the hot knife was meant for wood. I think it would have worked better on plastic and foam, because I did melt some pumpkins with it when I was experimenting. But I went ahead and I cut out a doorway, and I used a lot of elbow grease to like rip it out, and I had started where the circle was because I knew that was going to be the front, since that was the piece that was going to be like most taken out of. So then I went ahead and I made some measurements. I don't have exact measurements, I pretty much just eyeballed it, and I made a window. But I didn't do it for all of the walls. I did it for 4, I think. And I did that because I got tired. I got tired, and then I was like, okay, maybe they need a wall so they can like hang a picture or something, or a menu. So that's what I did, was I just didn't do the back wall. I just left it solid, and right here I am testing out the Calico critter to make sure that it fits. And I did use the hot knife for that part, but then you'll notice later on if there's like no burnt marks, because the hot knife will burn the wood and it makes it smell really good too. Now I actually got this hot knife for Christmas, and so I'm using it to carve in planks. I'm trying to. I did use a pencil to like draw out the lines, so they're not perfect. And this was really difficult to get it in there and make the details, but I really liked how it turned out. And I went ahead and I used the burning tool to also darken the trim. I'm gonna paint over it anyway, but I went ahead and I did it because I was obsessed with doing this. I had a lot of fun, and the smell was like very intoxicating. It was like, oh my goodness, this smells so good. But anyways, that is what I did, and I'm just gonna continue to do that on all of the windows and even the doorway. So after I had did that, I went ahead and I took the hot tool again, which is a burning tool, and I did like the crisscross because I wanted like some detail. This didn't turn out as planned because I did mess up the first time, and then I messed up like again later on. But I still like how it turned out. I still think it turned out really cute, and it gave it a lot of character because it was too plain, because I did not go in and cut out little notches right there. I just left it all solid because I got tired of cutting the wood. Like, it was so difficult, which means it's good wood. So now I am taking this medium. I've never used it. I believe it was the wooden bucket by Folk Art, and it was really fun. It's definitely like a stain because it's really thick. So what I found out later on was to mix in a little water, and then you can like wipe away with it with a towel, and that made it like smooth out a little bit more. And I believe right here I'm taking a misty white, and I'm gonna go ahead and coat the entire walls and even on the inside the misty white. But I noticed with the misty white, it's not very opaque, it's very translucent, and I did not mix any water with this. But I actually really like this white color. I think it's really pretty, and I think it helped like make the burning details pop a little bit too. So I am gonna go ahead and try to paint the windows as well. I didn't add like any resin to make glass windows because I want it to be open like a gazebo usually is. And this part was really tedious too because I had already stained the floor, and going back I probably would have just painted the walls first and then stained the floor, but I wasn't thinking, so I did have to like redo it again because I'm a messy painter. Like I have fun. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that stain again, the wooden bucket by Folk Art, and I'm gonna use that to go ahead and the outside of the gazebo. So for the ceiling of the gazebo on the inside, I'm using that Folk Art chalk paint in the antique green. It is so beautiful, has really good coverage. I think I only did one coat on the inside of that. And now I'm going to make my shingles for the roof of the gazebo. And how I'm doing that is I am taking my burning tool again, and I am carving the little shingles. This made it so much easier than cutting itty bitty shingles. That would have took forever. And this actually made it work out really good. I wasn't sure if it would, but this was like so fun and so tedious as well, because I think at some parts it did like cool down, which you will like notice if you like keep watching this part. It was definitely fun, and I would totally use this tool again. I would totally use the hot knife again. But now I'm taking that green, antique green Folk Art chalk paint, and I'm using it for the outside. So I did not forget to paint the trim, and again, I should have painted this part first, then painting the outside, but I wasn't thinking. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and take some burnt umber and some of that wooden bucket, and I'm mixing in a little bit of water, and I'm doing like a little sweep, and then I'm just like wiping it off, trying to get into those little crevices of those shingles. Now I'm taking a holly branch green or the Christmas green. It's like one of those two, or it could be even be the hunter green. Anyways, it was a really pretty green. It was Apple Barrel brand, and I'm using it to paint on some vines and leaves because I didn't have anything this tiny and I thought it would be really cute, but I only did it to the archway of the door. Now it is time to work on the what was supposed to be a water fountain ended up turning into a skating rink pond. So I took the frame that Vlad had sent me, and I had made some little stones with my pencil, and I'm just outlining that with my blending tool. It did not, because I used like a different like head of the burning tool, so it didn't like make indentions like the roof did on the gazebo, but that's fine. I think it turned out okay. It was definitely really fun to use too. So now I'm going to paint my frame a country gray by Apple Barrel. This paint is so old, but it still worked really good. I really like how translucent it is up against the burnt wood crevices. It definitely makes those pop, especially since I didn't use a detailing little thing like I did for the roof of the shingles. Now I'm going to mix in some other paints with the country gray to get a darker hue, but I am also using a towel to wipe it away because I don't want it to be too dark. Now, I skipped the part where I had traced out a piece of heart onto some cardboard, and I skipped the part of where I painted the heart cardboard and hot glued the heart cardboard to the back of the frame because I didn't want anything to pour out, because I am using the Apple Barrel bikini blue for the base coat of the heart. Then I'm taking the color shift and I'm using that in the blue to give it a color shifting hue, and then I'm taking the super glittery Mod Podge and I am using that to glaze over it. And I did about 3 coats of that because I really liked it, and I'm not a fan of glitter, but I really like that glitter Mod Podge because it's not like, ooh, glitter all over me. You know, it's not dry, it's wet, it's good. So I'm taking that silver dimensional Mod Podge and I'm tracing it around the heart on the outside. Now the reason why I used hot glue to seal in the back of the frame was because I'm using this 1:1 clear ratio of Mod Podge. I'm not a Mod Podge expert, but I am in love with this product. It is so good. I mean, like, it was so good to me. I did tint it with a little bit of the blue alcohol ink they had sent me, so I think it turned out really good. I just let it 24 hours dry. Now I'm going to show you how I made the table and chair. I'm actually taking a poker chip and I'm using it for the seat and I'm using it for the tabletop as well, and I am painting it in that antique chalk green paint. Now I'm taking these little alphabet beads that I got at the dollar store. I'm using them for the legs of the chair and for the table. I'm also glazing over it with some Mod Podge, and when I had painted the legs, I then painted it with a burnt umber by Folk Art. And I also, I had to cover it again in Mod Podge, but I used the antique Mod Podge this time because I really liked how it turned out. So now for the podium, I just used a popsicle stick to get the look that I wanted and a piece of paperboard to kind of have like a little top part, you know, like where they could put the menu or whatever. But I think it turned out really, really good. And then I painted it a burnt umber. Now I'm going to show you how I made the basket. I learned this in kindergarten, but it was to make lanterns out of paper. I am just doing a weaving out of paperboard that I painted the misty white. You basically just lift one up, slip it under, lift the other one up, slip it under, and then reverse it. So I had then coated it with an antique Mod Podge once the paint had dried. Now I am gluing it together, but I'm going to cut it in half. And then I glued the baskets to a piece of paperboard. So this is how I made the soil. I am using some fun foam and some brown fabric. I am just going to coil it up into each other, make sure that the fake plant can still fit inside because I don't want to glue it. I want it to be like this, just so if I want to change it out later on, I can. So now I'm just going to shove it into the little baskets that I had already glued into the front of the archway. Now I'm going to place everything inside and it looks so darling. Now I'm going to make the curtains out of this lace that I just have lying around, and I'm basically just bunching it up, tying it with a piece of ribbon, and adding some glue to seal it in. It was so simple, and I did not glue it inside the gazebo. I just used some mounting tape so it would hold it in place, just in case I want to change. Now, how I attach the podium and the table and chairs together is basically I just took a piece of paperboard, layered a piece of ribbon on top. I did coat the ribbon in that antique Mod Podge, and then I just glued the legs to. Okay, so this is what it turned out. I'm actually outside. It's not that cold out, but our grass is dead, so yay. Anyways, it kind of matches the feel of the board. I actually made this over the summer. It was the fire pit. I took the fire pit out so I wouldn't have to make it like another board, and I was running out of time because this is due tomorrow, and that's muffin at the door. But anyways, ignore the stumps and stuff. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you the gazebo after I show you this, because I think the trees are gonna like disappear on me. I got the trees at Dollar General, and I had made this, which I will show you how I did that, but I thought it was so cute because then maybe they can like fake skate and stuff if they wanted to. I thought that was so cute. And it was a picture frame without the frame, so I had to use resin, which it's in the video. Trees are from Dollar General. Thought they were really cute and festive. And I got these silk plants right here from Family Dollar or Dollar General, one of the two. I think it was Family Dollar. And this is how the gazebo turned out. I think it turned out so cute. I don't even know if you can even see it. I couldn't find my lights, or I would have like hung some up there, but I couldn't find them. But I thought it turned out really cute. Let me zoom in. Okay, so whenever I get more little Calico characters, I can like have like a little hostess right here. But for the meantime, the husband is going to be the hostess with the mostest, you know. So I thought that was really cute. I actually showed you how I made everything except for the outfits, the trees, and this, because there's a different video on the platform. But I thought it turned out really cute. Inside we have the little bistro table and chairs. I got the idea from actually Calico critters. I just didn't have the pieces and I wasn't willing to buy it right now, and I didn't think it was going to come in time anyway, so I went ahead and I made my own in the video. I just think it's so freaking cute. Like, oh my goodness. And they're falling down. Thank you, Pod, for sending me these products to use in today's video. And thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!